everyone, Matt Metzger here with ABI Attachments. Welcome back to another episode of ABI Dirt. Today we're going to try something new. You all are fantastic about leaving us questions and comments on our social media pages. We've read through some of your questions and we're going to try to tackle some of them today. So please keep those questions coming. If you want to be featured on an episode of ABI Dirt, when you leave us a question about a product, about something we do here, say, hey, I want this answered on ABI Dirt. Let us know. We'll take a look and we'll see what we can do. So our first question today comes from Jamie on Facebook, and Jamie says, I have a 33 horsepower Kubota. What size do you recommend for the ABI TR3? Jamie, I am so glad that you are taking a look at your tow vehicle specs before you're talking to a factory rep. Love you being prepared. Thank you so much. For a 33 horsepower Kubota, we would typically recommend a 6.5-foot TR3. Now I say typically because there's way more factors that go into this decision than just the horsepower requirements. We take a look at width of the tow vehicle, weight of the tow vehicle, 3-point lift capacity, tires, whether turf or ag, and that's before we're even talking about the project that you're working on. What are you trying to accomplish? What work do you need to do? So you can see there's a lot of factors that go into matching up the right attachment to the right situation. We really want you to give us a call so our factory rep can talk you through all of those questions. So 6.5 TR3, I'd normally recommend for a 33 horsepower tractor, but give us a call and let's match it up exactly. Now to help you get started, trying to decide what tool might be the right fit for you, we do offer a specifications page on every one of our product pages online. So if you're online, if you're taking a look at one of the products you like the look of, look for that specifications sub-tab, click into it. It gives you all the specs there to help you get a head start before you talk to a factory rep. Great question, Jamie. Thank you. All right, next question is from Braden, and Braden says, going to take forever to grade a driveway because of how light it is. Braden, forever's a long time, like sands on the seashore long. You got to give us a little bit of credit here. It will take longer, for sure. But Braden, I mean, you make a good point, man. I mean, we've got that gravel grader has a 4-foot wide box. Will it take a long time to grade a gravel driveway? Yes, compared to a tractor with a 3-point attachment behind it. Now, we make attachments for all different kinds of tow vehicles. Lawnmowers, four-wheelers, ATVs, UTVs, skid steers, big tractors, small tractors. And I'm here to tell you, any factory rep you talk to is gonna say, if you're doing gravel work and gravel driveway work and you've got a tractor, get a 3-point attachment, make it worth your time and money, right? If you don't have a tractor, if you don't have a side-by-side or four-wheeler, and what you've got is a gravel driveway with a lawnmower, now let's talk about the ABI Gravel Grader. Nothing out there compares to its ability to decompact, actually rip up, get to the heart of potholes, and also have that box there to carry material. So Braden, completely agree with you. Maybe not forever. It would take a much longer time to use a gravel grader behind a lawnmower than it would be a tractor with a 3-point attachment. Completely agree. If what you've got is a lawnmower, the gravel grader is a phenomenal option, and you should definitely talk to a factory rep about whether or not it's right for you. All right, question number 3 today comes from Vic. He is talking about the ABI manure spreaders, and he says, how does it do with wet-packed cattle manure? I pile mine up for 6 months, then spread. Vic, if you are composting for 6 months, your soil in your pastures must love you to death. That's awesome. Not everybody has the time or the space available to compost their manure. Glad that you get to. That's going to be fantastic for the nutrients in your soil. Now, can the ABI Classic Spreader handle cattle manure? You bet. Throw us your worst. I would recommend, however, looking at the 85 cubic foot or up sizes. We have more of a commercial build to the 85 and up sizes that would allow you multiple features, make it better for cattle manure. If you're using a skid steer or a tractor loader to fill that manure spreader up, 85 and up is much better because the sizes, it gives you a wider area to dump into, whereas those smaller sizes and the ground drive units are intended to be more maneuverable inside of barns that are actually pick installs as they go, and they can roll it right back out the barn. So take a look again, referencing earlier in the show about those spec sheets on the product pages, that it's going to tell you how many animals we recommend for different size of spreaders. So smaller number of animals, smaller spreader, but if you've got wet cattle manure, absolutely jump up to that 85 size or higher and grab that PTO model as well. You'll work through that. The manure spreaders eat poop for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Thanks, Vic. Great question. So last question of the day comes from Carl. He is asking about the SR1, and Carl says, wouldn't a rock bucket do the same thing as an ABI SR1? Carl, I can see why you would come to that conclusion taking a look at some of the video footage of that SR1 pushing some gravel and preparing a gravel driveway. Totally get it why you'd get there. But the rock bucket and the SR1 have two fundamentally different purposes. So whereas the rock bucket is designed to be able to scoop up material, shake it, sift it, grab any rock that's 2 inches wide or bigger, and then dump it off to the side, we see rock collection as one step in a multi-step process of soil preparation. So whereas we're thinking about preparing horse arenas, preparing driveways, preparing seed beds, preparing landscaping, and that involves rock collection, the rock bucket is just intended to actually get those rocks out of there. So for example, if you've got a rock bucket and you are sifting through and pulling rock out, when you're done getting the amount of rock out that you want, the next question is, well, what are you trying to accomplish with the land? Right? You need to prepare it. If it's anything for seed bed, you still need to decompact the soil that's remaining after you pulled that rock bucket out, because in order to plant anything and stand a good chance of growth, you gotta let those roots go down deep. That means you need to decompact. I know that some rock buckets, by pulling across, you could do some decompaction, but typically you're only gonna get about 2 inches of decompaction with a rock bucket, whereas an SR1, those multi-point scarifiers, you're able to rip 4-6 inches deep with an SR1, whereas you're not going to get near that deep, which means you're not going to get that root growth that you want if you're doing seed bed preparation. Carl, great question. That's all the questions we're going to tackle today, folks. We'd love more questions to tackle, though. So, along with subscribing to this channel, jump over to our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, follow us there. That way you can submit your questions, let us know that you saw us on ABI Dirt and you want your questions answered as well. We'll do our best to tackle them in future episodes. But until next time, take care.